What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Monday, people, as we begin a big week for Arsenal Football Club. Champions League football is back this Wednesday. PSV at the Emirates, and then the North London derby this Sunday. A massive 7 days for Arsenal Football Club. 2 victories needed if we're going to have a season that we want. Trossard gets the green screen today. Hey, what are you telling me, people? I'm looking for all them people that thought we was going to drop points. Big up Man United on this Monday. Big up to Manchester United, people, and all the Man United fans. I'm sorry, but, you know, it looked like a Brighton training session. It was wild. Danny Welbeck bopping. You know, it was a crazy weekend for Man United, that's for sure. And Wan-Bissaka now injured for 2 months. Don't go anywhere, Man United fans. It's not looking good. Although, to be fair, we do have an injury of our own in Gabriel Martinelli, and we're going to talk more about that one. That is bad news for Arsenal as well. You know, an important player for us, and it's going to be interesting how we operate with him not being in the team, because I was saying yesterday on the watch-along, I think Martinelli is the most direct player in this team, and, you know, without him, how is it going to change the way we play? But listen, big week for Arsenal. Lots to talk about today. We'll go over yesterday's game. I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch the full game back. You know, during the watch-along, I was thinking, this is not the best of games to watch. So I didn't watch the full game back. I did watch the extended highlights, although there wasn't too many of them. But yeah, we will do player ratings. We'll go through the press conference reaction, and we got a little bit of transfer news as well, and we'll look ahead to some of the games this week as well. Big up to everyone who tuned in yesterday. Thank you very much for that. We got great likes and views on the video. What does Daichi think about the performance? I mean, listen, it was a waste of time turning up. We didn't even try and attack. We just let Arsenal win the game. I know I'm going to be sacked by Christmas. We eat bricks, we eat wood, we eat concrete. You know, Calvert-Lewin, he pulled his toenail, and he's injured for 7 months. So it wasn't a good day for Everton. There you go, people. There you go. No more Sean Dyche for today, though, people. I can't lie. But big up my bro Akeem. Don't think Martinelli is too much of a miss. Oh, no, I disagree. I think... I know, listen, we love Trossard. I actually really wanted to see Trossard playing in that sort of number 8 role where Fabio Vieira played and Havertz has played. I would have liked to have seen both of them in the team, you know. Alvin said it's his birthday on Sunday. Hopefully we'll beat Spurs. My son's birthday cruise on Sunday as well, so big up yourself. 24th of September. But yeah, man, I mean, I remember, was it last year or the year before when Emerson Royale got sent off against Martinelli? So yeah, listen, I know we love Trossard, but Martinelli is, you know, he's the pacey option. He's the one who can run in behind. He's the most direct player. So I think it's great having both of them. But it is what it is. And anyway, we've got a lot to talk about. Let's get into the show. Like the video, subscribe, and all of that good stuff, people. Go through the game yesterday and the player ratings. So listen, it wasn't a classic. It definitely was not a classic. What I will say about Arsenal, just to add balance to the way things are looking at the moment with us, is we're not necessarily at our best at the moment. I'm going to be totally honest. I think we started last season better than we started this season. I think we were brushing teams, you know, off the pitch, and what I do like about Arsenal at the moment is I feel very assured about our defence. Arteta tried that experiment at the start of the season, the whole Partey at right-back business. I didn't like it. We've gone back to the back four that we nearly won the league with, that we might have won the league if they'd have stayed fit at the back end of last season. And I think you can see the understanding. You can't buy that. You cannot buy understanding on a football pitch. Sometimes it clicks straight away. Sometimes it takes years. But that back four understand each other. We feel solid. Everton away yesterday, at no point did I really feel like Everton were going to score. Crystal Palace away, tough place to go. I never really felt like we were going to concede. You know, actually, it's been the home games, which is, you know, strange that we concede more goals at home than we do away from home. But that back four is solid. Declan Rice in front, solid. The goalkeeper, you know, we're going to talk about David Raya. I felt very assured with him in goal yesterday. We feel like a team that are not going to give you much, right? And it feels like that back four is going to be very difficult to play against. I think the problem is when if players get injured or suspended. You know, at left back, Zinchenko, if he comes out, who goes in at left back? Tomiyasu, who's a right back, or Kivior, who's a centre back. That worries me a little bit. You know, if one of the centre backs comes out, you know, it's just the dynamics. Timber is a huge loss, but if we can keep that back four together for, you know, 90% of the season, maybe we got a chance. You know, I know Mourinho used to say it. Defenses win you titles. You've got to have that foundation to build from. And then, you know, what happens in front of that sort of affects it. You was getting emotional when Calvert-Lewin was coming on. It was, do you know what it was, Mike? It felt to me, and I always say Arsenal fans, there's always an element of PTSD. I felt like I'd seen that story before. Dominating possession. Calvert-Lewin comes on, they'll whip a cross in, and he'll probably head one in and we'll get beat. So, but nah, you know, there was nothing to worry about in the end, I can't lie. Rayo in goal was so self-assured and confident. His distribution was peak. I can't wait to see more of it. I think, I said when David Raya signed, he hasn't come here to sit on the bench all season. You don't leave Brentford as first-choice goalkeeper to come and be second choice at Arsenal. Not in a year with a European Championships at the end of it. He's in the Spanish squad. You know, you saw the way he was welcomed to the club, man. He's going to end up, in my opinion, being the first choice. That's just my opinion. But you never know. Ramsdale maybe steps up and grabs his shirt back. That's the beauty of football. Big up Static, who said, facts, Curtis Fergie also previously said, defences win you titles. What I want to see more of from Arsenal, because I still think there's room for improvement, and that is the exciting thing about Arsenal at the moment. We've won 4, drawn 1, and I don't actually think we're in our top gear at the moment. What I will say is that I think at the moment, we haven't quite got that killer instinct at the moment. That cutting edge isn't quite there. We've got enough to win the game, but we're not just finishing teams off early. You look at Forest, 2-1 in the end, hanging on. Should have been 3 or 4-0 before they did anything. You look at Palace, could have been 2 or 3-0 before the red card. You look at Man United, okay, we scored 3, but 2 were in time added on. The game could have been over before that. And you look at yesterday, I think Everton should have been out of that game probably by half time. And listen, I don't want to take anything away from Arsenal. I just think at the moment we're not quite creating as many clear-cut chances. And when we are, we're not quite finishing them off. And I think that's what we need to add to our game over the next few weeks. You know, we play Manchester City next month, Tottenham this week, Champions League games. You know, when you play the better teams, you don't get as many chances. You have to finish them off. Facts, there's still room for improvement. Sheik said the biggest concern for me is Saka's noticeable burnout. I mean, I'm going to talk about Saka in the player ratings, but I think at the moment, Saka is being slightly mismanaged by the manager. I understand that when you've got a player that is maybe the top boy at your club, you very rarely take them off, because even when they're not playing as well, you've got that thing of, oh, they can produce a moment of magic, you know, straight away. I just think sometimes he looks like he's knackered. Every game I look at Saka and I think, is he injured? Is he tired? Why does Nelson never come on for him? I think at 22 years of age, you should not be playing for a big football club knowing that you're guaranteed to play 90 minutes. Unless you're Mbappe or Haaland or of that level, I don't think that's a positive thing. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see with that one. Did I say Vinny right wing? Apologies, but you know what I mean anyway. But Mafia Boss said, I'm still buzzing, Big C. Come on, you Gunners. Big up with the super chat, bro. Big win. Enjoy them wins, man. And Canadian Gooner said, told you several weeks ago, take Kubo. He's the best right winger behind Vinicius in the world. Go watch his cameo yesterday against Madrid. Bring him to the carpet. Oh, people were referring to that. Yeah, Vinny is a left winger, isn't he? Not a right winger. And big up Crazy Gomez. Said it's their birthday on Wednesday. I'm going to be 24. Let's hope Arsenal deliver with a win. Happy birthday. Champions League settings. Let's hope we get that victory. Let's get into the player ratings. Arsenal won 1-0, 69th minute. Leandro Trossard, a.k.a. Bossard. He gets the green screen today. Deserved. Comes off the bench. Pity it was for an injury. 74% possession. Pure dominance. 235 passes for Everton. 668 passes for Arsenal. Only 67% pass accuracy for Everton. 89% for Arsenal. I'm just going to quickly say one thing about Everton. They are in big trouble. They are in big trouble. And I might be in a minority here. Because I heard Everton getting a lot of criticism yesterday. I don't want Everton to get relegated. I'm a bit old school, a bit of a purist, and I don't like seeing what I consider to be big traditional Premier League clubs in the Championship. You know, I'd much rather be playing Everton than be playing, you know, a team with a little tiny stadium and nothing really going on. Everton are quite a historical football club. But I have to say yesterday, that is up there as the worst Everton team I've ever watched. I've never seen Arsenal go to Goodison and play an Everton team that had no ambition to score a goal. They did absolutely nothing in that game. It was ridiculous. And any Everton fan this morning must be absolutely fuming with that performance. They are in a relegation battle big time. Remember Danny Cadamartri? Yeah, I remember them, man, there. Dreads, Little Platts, all sort of them old school players, man. Victor Anichebe being them, man. Franny Jeffers, they bumped us with Franny Jeffers. But what I did like about Arsenal is the control. The key word for this game for me was control. Control was big. We didn't give them any chance to do anything. Let's get into the player ratings. You know how we do it. We read out the player. We get the numbers. I didn't watch the game back. I'm going to be totally honest. I thought it was a bit boring. So I didn't really want to watch the game back on a Sunday evening or a Monday morning. So I watched the extended highlights. I've got the player ratings written down. As I said, sometimes during the watch-along, you do miss certain bits, which is why I always say, lean on the community. If you feel I'm a bit off, throw it in with your number. Let's start with David Raya. Let's briefly talk about David Raya as well. David Raya, I believe you pronounce it actually, but David Raya, we're running with that. This was an assured performance. He will have more difficult days than this. He made one save. It was a shot straight at him. You know, there'll be days when we're playing City and he might have 7-8 shots and we'll see how good he really is. But there was a maturity, there was an assurance about him. He came and collected his crosses. His passing was fantastic. But he did only have one shot to save. I'm giving him a 7.5. He didn't really have a lot to do, but deserves credit for what he did. And it was just the way he did it. It was the way he did it, people. He came for the cross calm. His passing, it was calm. It just felt good. It felt assured. I haven't felt like that since Emile Martinez was in goal, I'm going to be honest. No disrespect to Leno and Ramsdale. This will be one of two things for Aaron Ramsdale. This will either be the beginning of the end of his Arsenal career, or it will turn Aaron Ramsdale into an even better goalkeeper because he's got real competition. So I gave Raya a 7.5. I would have probably given him higher, but one save to make. He didn't have a lot to do. It was excellent distribution and excellent at coming for crosses. You know, watching him, it felt like he'd played for Arsenal for 2 or 3 years. Didn't feel like that was his debut. Be interesting if he plays in midweek. So very good performance by him. Who will play on Wednesday and who will play on Sunday? That will be very interesting. Big up George G for becoming a member. Hope you're well, bro. Kamal said Saka needs rest, but he always pops up with a GA. You're right. That's the beauty of Saka. Even when he's not great, he'll get you an assist or a goal. Southern Gooner, big up yourself, bro. Trossard must start. No ifs or buts about it. And Ketia ain't it. Raya kept everything nice and tidy. Still need a down payment for Ivan Toney. Listen, we're going to talk about this as well when we get to the strikers. Let's go to the back four. I thought the back four were fantastic yesterday. I will start with Ben White. I've got Ben White 7.5. The only reason I'm not, rating some of them even higher, they didn't really have anything to do. But I thought Ben White did well on the overlap at times, put some good crosses in. He was tidy on the ball. I thought Benny Blanco had a very good performance. And listen, England's loss is Arsenal's gain, I would say. I am happy when players get international call-ups. But I also don't mind when they don't and they get that rest. So I thought Ben White was solid. I'm actually tempted to give him 8 out of 10, when I think about it. I thought he was really good. I'll give him a 7.5. I might itch him up to an 8, I thought he played really well. Never troubled, 7.5. Some of you giving him an 8. Let's give him an 8. Why not? I thought he actually had a really good game. I think he's the unsung hero at Arsenal. We very rarely talk about Ben White. And I always say the best defenders, you don't talk about them often. The best goalkeepers, you don't talk about them often because they just do their job and keep it moving. I'm going to give Ben White an 8. I thought he was very good on the ball yesterday. Let's go to the centre-backs. I've got Saliba and Gabriel at 7.5. I thought they were comfortable. They dealt with Beto. I actually thought Gabriel was superb until the end when he got caught on the ball. I'm very lucky we got away with it. Gabriel, to me, looks high on confidence at the moment. I think that Brazil call-up has done a lot for him. It must have really damaged his confidence, being one of 3 Brazilian players, and the other 2 go to the World Cup and you don't, would really affect your confidence. Saliba was just Saliba. Pure class, easy, good on the ball. Do you know what? I'm going to give Saliba an 8 and give Gabriel 7.5. There was a time when I think it was Beto tried to run him. He just shouldered him out the way like, brother, are you stupid? Do you know who I am? Don't even try that. Gabriel was quality as well. I think Saliba was a little bit more assured. Gabriel had a very good game, though. Make no mistake about it. So I'll give him a 7.5. I give Saliba an 8. Let's go to Zinchenko. Zinchenko is a real interesting player. Because I watched the highlights of that game back again, and I'm like, first half, Zinchenko's giving simple passes away. And I was, during the watch along, I was complaining a little bit. But he played the best passes in the game at the same time. And that's kind of the risk and reward that you get for Zinchenko. So even though he was sloppy in the first half, I'm still going to give Zinchenko an 8. Now, some of you might not agree with it. And I can see Jonas saying 5. Some of you saying 6. And I tell you why I'm going to give him the 8. Because when he steps into midfield, right, and a few of you are giving him lower ratings, 6.5s than that. When you step into midfield and you want him to get on the ball, what would I rather he did? He's good enough to go into midfield and do what Mohamed El Neni does, right? Keep the ball sideways, backwards, complete 100 passes, and say, I never give the ball away. What do you get from that? What do you achieve from that? Nothing. You don't achieve nothing from that. Zinchenko played the best passes in that game yesterday. I would much rather Zinchenko was looking for, to play a pass that can open up a back four and can get you a goal than just be safe with it. So for me, I'm giving him the 8. High risk, high reward. Sometimes it goes wrong, and it did go wrong at times. But when he opens up the defence, he will split you apart, and I'm giving him the credit for it. I think he's quality. He wasn't troubled defensively. I'm going to give him the 8. And yeah, he did give the ball away a little bit at times in the first half. We're not going to ignore that. But those passes, especially the ones over the top, very, very good. He does. He breaks the lines. He could quite easily play centre mid for this Arsenal team. Quite easily. If we had another left back. So, Zinny gets an 8. Martin Odegaard. Odegaard, I thought was decent. I don't think it was his best game. He wasn't bad. He was involved in the short corner that led to the goal. Things like that. I've got Odegaard at 7. I haven't gone any higher. I think he should have scored yesterday. That chance that Odegaard got in early in the second half, I think he should have scored. He should have bent into the far corner. He just smashes it straight down the middle. But again, when we're on the ball and we're trying to make things happen, everything sort of goes through Odegaard. So I give him a 7. He was still pivotal in what we did. But I think he should have bagged yesterday. I've got to be honest. So I'll give Martin Odegaard a 7. Let's go to Declan Rice. Rice and peas. Let's put it this way with Declan Rice. Last season, we came to Everton. We got battered. I mean, this was like, prime Mike Tyson in Vegas, 5 a.m., beat up, knocked out, licks. We got hammered. We played with one DM yesterday. I never saw Decore. I never saw Onana. I never saw Idrissa. Didn't see none of them, man, in midfield. Deckers. I have to admit, he's better than I thought he was. I always thought he was a good player, but he's just brilliant. I gotta be. He's class. Keeps it ticking. He actually gave the ball away at the end as well, but he was quality. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Declan Rice, solid leader, midfield general, playing by himself. People have to remember at West Ham, he had Souček next to him. Big guy, physical presence, two centre mids next to each other. At Arsenal, he's got 2 players ahead of him. He's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. I think he's quality. I think he's absolute quality. I could have given him... do you know what? I'm going to give him higher. I'm going to give him an 8.5. I think I need to itch him up a little bit to 8.5. Dominated that midfield battle. English tax was spent well there. Very much. It was, I think I've got to put him up. He dealt with one of the most physical midfields you will play against in the Premier League. He kept them quiet. Decore got dragged. Onana did nothing. Nick said if Rice gets injured, we're screwed. You're right. You are right. But, touch wood, hopefully he stays fit the whole season. Ian said, nah, he's a 9, my bro. I hear it. I fully hear it. He bullied them with little fuss. Class. Let's talk about Fabio Vieira. Do you know what? I'm really happy for this guy. Really happy for him. Met him on tour last year in Orlando. Had a little chat with him. He seemed cool. Met him this year again. Seemed cool. He's improved. He's had people like me, and I don't hide. I was here saying, get him a protein shake. Get him some yam and dumpling. Send him on loan. I think I said sell him at one point. I didn't even call him Vieira at one point. I just said we're calling him Fabio V. It was like a Bobby V feature on a Lil Wayne track in the early 2000s, people. But he's improved. He's knuckled down. He's had his preseason, come off the bench, done his thing. And he played well yesterday. He wasn't amazing, but he was good. Plays a fantastic through ball to Martinelli. Should have got an assist. If the striker would have been, a half a yard further back, it would have been an assist. Puts a great ball across the area. Somebody should be begging to tap that in. Had a shot, got on the ball a little bit more in the second half. I've got 7.5 written down. I thought it was a building block performance from him. And something that he can build on. Yeah, he did get robbed of an assist. Mike said you were too harsh on him. Nah, I'm convinced he needed a protein shake, Mike. So I'm telling you that he needed some protein. He needed some yam and dumpling and banana, brother. I'm telling you. But he's getting on the ball and performing. So listen, I respect it. Keep building on that. Let's see if we can unearth a real talent there. And I thought he was better than Odegaard yesterday. So fair play to him. Who we got next? Bukayo Saka. Interesting one, this. I've seen a few player ratings that people have said. I never let any player rating influence what I think. I didn't think Saka played that well yesterday. I've seen a lot of people saying Saka played really well. I don't think he did. Let me give Saka one bit of credit. Got the assist. That's what Saka can give you as a team. Got the assist. He can get you a goal. He can get you an assist. Now, that assist leads to us winning the game. So, I'm not going to mark him too low because we could be sitting here right now having Arsenal therapy, 0-0 draw with Everton, and I'm having an absolute meltdown. Saka's ball was top quality. Now, let me give Saka one little bit of credit. Mykolenko should have been booked in the first half. If he gets booked in the first half, it's a totally different game, because then Saka's running at a fullback on a yellow card who can't put a dangerous challenge in. What I felt yesterday with Saka, he was playing like Pepe. He was getting the ball, he was taking too long to go at the fullback and allowing himself to be doubled up on. Because he gets the ball, he was moving slow, and you can see Dwight McNeil sprinting back to help Mykolenko to turn it into a 2v1. And Saka was struggling then. He got fouled a lot. The ref didn't protect him. I've got 6.5 written down for him. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he played that well yesterday, Saka. He did get fouled a lot. But I think he needs to speed his game up. I said this will be a challenging year for Saka. It'll be a challenging year for him because everybody doubles up on him now. And, you know, he gets kicked. People are just kicking Saka now. He gets kicked. And at times I think he needs the manager to just say, come and have a rest the last 15 minutes. Put a fresh Nelson on and give him a break. But, you know, they never take him off. It feels like burnout at times. We need to sign Neto in January. I mean, I'll take him the way he played against Liverpool. Really good performance. Gabriel Martinelli. I mean, I can't mark him that high or low. He scored, but it was disallowed, unfortunately. Yasser said it was an 8 out of 10 for Saka. Bullied their left-back every time he got 1v1. I mean, most of the time he got kicked to the floor. So I don't think he did bully him, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them were fouls, should have been yellow cards. But I don't think he did bully Mykolenko. He was getting past him. But then Mykolenko just wiping him out. Now, that's not his fault. That is the referee. I thought the referee was shocking yesterday. But I thought Saka was a little bit slow on the ball, but brilliant assist. Martinelli gets a 6. You know, he got injured. He scored a lovely goal. We're going to talk about his injury after the player rating. So 6 for Martinelli. Not applicable, yeah. We'll do that. And let's finish this starting 11 with Eddie Nketiah. Now, I'm not going to get carried away. You know, this isn't going to be ridiculously low. I think he was our worst player yesterday. I'll give you my explanation because I don't want him saying, you've got an agenda. You've never liked Eddie. Admit it. Listen, didn't hold the ball up well enough yesterday. I said before the game he shouldn't have started. Gabriel Jesus should have started that game because we needed a striker that could hold the ball up against Everton's centre-backs who are massive. Eddie didn't hold the ball up well. His first touch let him down at times. He had one half chance in the first half. Odegaard laid him in. He took it too wide. Should have shot quicker. It got blocked. And he was no threat. If you're the centre-back of Everton, you're saying that was light work. You know, just come out of the England squad. He should have been buzzing. He didn't play well. And I'm not saying this through any sort of agenda. Eddie's done well the last few weeks. I just don't think he's good enough. I don't, and I'm sorry. I know. People will be like, oh, it's too harsh. Don't do it. You know, your defence is in trouble and all that. No, Everton's defence was in no trouble yesterday. No trouble whatsoever. If Arsenal want to be challenging for the title, in my opinion, we need a striker. We need a goal scorer. And that is not just aimed at Eddie Nketiah. That's also aimed at Gabriel Jesus. I think Gabriel Jesus is an outstanding footballer. I don't think he's an outstanding goal scorer. Eddie, for me, I give him a... Listen, we won the game. I'm in a good mood. I call it a 5. It's a good job we won the game. I give him a 5. I think I'm being fair. I'm seeing man put 2.5 and 4s in there and 3s in there. I've given him a 5. One thing about me, and I've heard this on some player ratings. Oh, he worked his socks off. You'll never hear me on this show heaping praise on players for working hard. It's the minimum expectation. You're a professional footballer at the top level getting millions of pounds a week. I do not expect to be sitting here seeing a player, sacking it off and not running around. That's the minimum expectation. So all this Eddie runs around and works hard thing doesn't bother me one bit. Doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me if any player runs around. I expect that as a bare minimum. I'm looking at what you can produce when you've got the ball. That's what you're there for, to make the difference. So, yeah, this was not This was not the performance that we needed. But I think the manager has to look at that and say, I've got to put Gabriel Jesus in for the North London derby. And, in fact, for the Champions League. It's the bare minimum. I don't get, I worked hard, blah, blah. Well, he should work hard. Do you know what I mean? I ain't interested in that. What did he do? Was it the Chris Rock stand-up? What have you done for me lately? It's one of them. So I'm giving him a 5. Christopher, tell me. He says a 5. No, you've gone mad. Chris, tell me your rating. I want to know. Robbie gave him a 7, apparently. Did he? Wow. Do you know, I'd love Robbie to have been my football manager. If he gives 7s out for them performance, I would have loved it. But yeah, he gets a 5 for me, and I'm being kind. A 5 is a shocker, Big C. He deserves less. But I said I'm being kind. Oh, Chris gave him a 3. I thought you was getting on to me for saying, that's too low. We're in a good mood this Monday. We collected the 3 points. I don't want the agenda clan on me. 5. But we got Axel Foley. Yeah, that was an Axel Foley performance. Axel Foley would have probably done more. He's quite attacking in Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3. Giving less than 5 is very, very hard. Well, I give him a 5. I give him a 5. And I think I'm being kind. The bench, let's start with the 2, and then we'll go with the main man, the guy behind me on the green screen. Tomiyasu and Havertz, 6. I can't remember much happening, really. Kept the ball a couple of times. Nothing really happened. Tomiyasu, 6. Havertz, a 6. And then let's finish with the main man. Leandro, Trossardinho, Bossardinho, and whatever else you want. I'm actually going to give Trossard... I'm going to give Trossard man of the match. And I tell you why, because that finish is outstanding. That finish is absolutely outstanding. On his left foot, opening up his body, putting it in the far corner, like it's a world-class finish. I'm not saying he's a world-class player, but it's a world-class finish. I'm looking at the Arsenal team, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure any other player in the Arsenal team scores that on their weaker foot. I think he's probably got the best weak foot in the Arsenal team, if I'm being honest. That's 5-star weak foot on FIFA settings, people. Looking for it. Yeah, I would say he's got the best weak foot in the Arsenal team. It's an unbelievable finish. Unbelievable. And a lot of us have been calling him for a while to get him in the team. I said in the preview on Friday, you've got to get him in the team somehow. I don't know where you play him. Do you play him 8? Do you play him left wing? We're going to be playing him now, and he's outstanding. I'm giving him man of the match. I'm giving him 9 out of 10. In pre-season in America, a lot of us were saying he's probably had the best pre-season of any attacking player. He comes back and he's sat on the bench for weeks, probably thinking, how on earth can I not get in this team? Goes on international duty, scores a belter for Belgium, comes back, bench again, comes on. Did he moan? Did he complain? He got his head down, did the business, scores the winning goal. Now you're going to get your opportunity. That's the way you're supposed to do. Let your football do the talking. 9 out of 10, man of the match, match winner, end of story. Bossardinho, business, bang. That's what I'm talking about. Referee, shocking. I felt like Ty yesterday. Couldn't stop moaning about the ref. I called him Phil Mitchell. He was shocking. Absolutely awful referee. I'm convinced he had an Everton kit on. And I give him 1 out of 10. I think he's one of the worst refs we've had this season. Mikel Arteta, starting lineup for me, I had no problem with it apart from Eddie. And I'm not just saying that now. I think Gabriel Jesus should have started the game. So apart from that, it was okay. Substitutions weren't bad. So I'll give Arteta, I give him a 7. We won the game, 1-0, job done, keep it moving, 3-point collectors, and we move. Curtis Wright, before that, we were talking about how the best players use both their feet. 10 for Trossard. I like his muted celebration. It's just calm. It's like, what? You can't see what I'm doing, brother. Put your binoculars on. Look at my 5-star weak foot. Don't you dare bench me. Big up Mike Jones, who's a member of the channel now. Big up yourself, bro. I just had a comment on the screen. I forgot to respond to it. I think it was a Galatasaray fan who was talking about Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. I tell you something. Wan-Bissaka's out for 2 months, so obviously Zaha's going to play against Dalot. That is a plus because Wan-Bissaka is outstanding in 1v1s against quick wingers. Dalot is, I mean, you saw what Gabriel Jesus did to Dalot. You know, he might not even be at the game. I think he slid out of the country. So, yeah, I think that would be a plus point for them for sure. Yeah, Elliot, you're right. Arteta changed the lineup and won the game. Job done. Jake said, he expects it. It's one of them, innit? He bags and he's just like, did you man see that? All right, cool. Keep it moving. I don't need to run around. Don't need to celebrate too much. We just enjoy scoring goals and doing what we do, you know. Credit for the short corners, source of the goal, 100%. I think it was spoken about that the set piece coach was... they were saying that he'd spoken to the players a lot about that. That Everton are so good in the air when you're just whipping corners in. And I kept saying that yesterday. Everton are winning every header from a high corner, and it ended up being the short corner that got us the win. So, listen, that game's done. My roundup of that game, it wasn't pretty, but we controlled the game, and we scored a great goal. I would have liked to have seen us score a couple more goals and make it a little bit more comfortable. 1-0 is always a little bit nerve-wracking, but job done. I still think Arsenal... I've got another gear or two to go up in terms of scoring more goals. You know, I think we can still add to that. Rayo will be number 1. Apparently, the probability of short corners leading to a goal is higher than straight into the box. Bosch J says Arteta 9 out of 10. Job done. Yeah, I did give Tomiyasu and Havertz. I gave them both a 6. Both 6 and Trossard 9 out of 10 man of the match. Let's talk about the one blip of yesterday. And let me get one thing clear. I know I said earlier in the show that's probably one of the worst Everton teams I've ever seen. But I'm almost certain that 1 or 2 of the big clubs will go there this season and drop points. So make no mistake about it, you know, 1-0 is still a good victory for Arsenal. 6 years since we've beaten Everton at Goodison Park in the Premier League. That's the last time we will play Everton at Goodison Park in the Premier League. Not because they're going to be in the Championship. Well, they could be, but they're getting a new stadium next season. Gabriel Jesus. Sorry, I'll give him 6.5. I actually totally forgot about Gabriel Jesus. I didn't even write him down. So, yeah, appreciate that one. But let's talk about the one blip of yesterday. A lot of people getting hyped, by the way, because Ivan Toney commented on David Raya's Instagram post. So, of course, you know, he comments on his mate's Instagram. You know what that means in an Arsenal fan's head. He's signing for Arsenal. But we've all seen, you know, social media, Mudryk and all that, and it still never happened. So, what I will say is don't get too caught up on that. Let's talk about the one downside of yesterday, people, and that is Gabriel Martinelli. Now, this is an early report that's come out, although there's nothing gospel about this report as of yet. It says, this is according to early reports, is that Gabriel Martinelli has suffered a hamstring injury, grade 1, in yesterday's win at Goodison Park. The recovery time is anything from 1 to 4 weeks. That is the early, you know, prognosis. There's no guarantee. It could be the week, but it could be the 4. Now, that is bad. Bear in mind that we play Manchester City in 3 weeks. You know, that is not good news. You're now starting to look at it and go, Timber, Partey, Martinelli, you know, these aren't squad players. You're talking about 3 players that would probably start if we're fit. So, you know, you're talking about 3 game changers being injured, and players getting injured a lot. Now, the one positive thing is that we do have an adequate replacement in Trossard, you know, and if it's a couple of weeks, we can deal with it because I still think we can beat Tottenham with Trossard. I've got no problem with him playing on the left. I don't even think it actually makes us any weaker. It's just we have a different kind of winger. You know, Martinelli's quicker, more direct. I would say Trossard more intelligent, more of a dribbler. So I think we're looking at a couple of weeks of no Martinelli. But I would like to think, you know, we play PSV We then play Tottenham. We then play Brentford in the Carabao Cup. And we've also got, I think we play Lens in the Champions League as well. Who do we play after Tottenham? Bournemouth. Bournemouth away, then Lens, and then the Man City game. So you never know. Hopefully we can get him back for Man City, before the international break. What on earth, by the way, is going on with Emile Smith Rowe? What is going on with ESR, people? Are you fit, bruv? What's happening with this guy? I don't understand it. It's like he doesn't exist. He's turned into sort of... We had a song for this guy. Here we go. Saka. And now the guy can't get a kick. What's going on? New contract, number 10. Wins the Euros with the under-21s. Future's bright for him. Now, it's like he doesn't exist. I mean, I said it yesterday. I could be totally, totally wrong. It feels like he's had a fallout with the manager. I could be totally wrong. Totally wrong. Maybe he's not fully fit. Maybe the manager's waiting for the cup competitions, like Mike's is saying. It just feels like something isn't right. He isn't even getting 10 minutes at the end of the games. He's not getting nothing. I've seen Nelson come on. I've seen Havertz. I've seen Trossard. I've seen even Tomiyasu comes off the bench. ESR can't get a kick. This one's worrying. Now, he will probably play against Brentford, but I think ESR's better than that. I don't think ESR is wait until we've got a Carabao Cup game in 4 weeks and then we'll play him. No, ESR's a very talented player. I thought this was going to be a big season for him. He won the Euros. He looked fit in pre-season. He looked sharp. He's one of our own. These players won't be happy just sitting down on the bench. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he plays some game time this week and then you start him next week against Brentford, and maybe that is a turning point for him, to get his way into the team. But Emile Smith Rowe, man, don't turn your back on him. I still think there's a player there. Jorge said you could play Jesus on the wing. You could, but Jesus on the wing means that Eddie Nketiah plays through the middle. You got big games coming up. I'm not trying to see Eddie starting through the middle. I think you just play Reece on the right, to be honest. I think Reece Nelson's good enough and direct enough to play on that right-hand side and run at fullbacks. He's direct. My guy got a trust the process tattoo as well, doing anything he can. You know what I mean? Man got the slogan tattered and you still ain't respecting him. It's all mad. Simon, thank you for the super chat, bro. We've only played one game a week. Arteta said lots of games in September. We will know in a few weeks. Chelsea asked about him and we said no. With 3 games a week until the international break, there's no reason whatsoever for all these main players to be getting game time over the next few weeks. So hopefully Smith Rowe does get some game time. Personally, I'm a fan. I think he's a very good player. And I think he's somebody that can be useful. People forget this guy got 10 league goals season before last, that got him that new contract, that got him that number 10 shirt. So don't sleep on Smith Rowe, people. There's still a good player there. Man got trust the process tattoo and you dropped him and basically said, yo, don't turn up with that tattoo. That's my slogan. You better sit on the bench. Yeah, I agree, TM. He might have to get that lasered off. If he don't end up. A lot of people say that he was part of saving Arteta's job because that season, when we were 15th at one point, his creativity and goals was a massive part of that recovery, So, but no friends in football, as we've seen with Aaron Ramsdale. You've got to continue to prove yourself. And before we get into press conference reaction to round up, I've got one transfer story. Before I even get into this story, I'm putting both hands up. It's not clickbait. I haven't made it up. And forgive me. Go easy on me, people. Osimhen to Arsenal. Go easy, people. I know what you're all thinking. I know. I can hear you through the screens. What are you talking about, Osimhen to Arsenal? We'll never get him. Edu can't negotiate that deal ever. I hear what you're saying. But this is just the story, people. Arsenal are 100% interested in making a move for Napoli striker Victor Osimhen next summer. The Italian champions will demand a fee well over 100 million for their star forward. Recognised Arsenal reporter Charles Watts has confirmed the Gunners' interest. And it's also the story. Yeah, I'm telling you, the chat's throwing hands. I'm on the ropes right now trying to, get to the end of the round, people. Yo, go easy, man. Stop throwing the jab. It's wild. Now, listen, the story says, don't quote me on this. It's coming out of the Sun newspaper. Edu apparently approached Osimhen's agent to see if he would be interested in a move to Arsenal, which we've heard before that Osimhen apparently, loves Arsenal and blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't mean anything really, does it? It means nothing. The guy would be willing to come to Arsenal, but we know the problem. Could Edu ever negotiate a deal with Napoli? It's very unlikely. And he would cost, 120 million or more. So, people, it ain't clickbait. The story's there. It's in the Sun newspaper. Osimhen, Arsenal. I'm not going to talk about it for too long. I don't want to, aggravate anyone on this wonderful Monday afternoon, people. But, listen, aside from the story and the kind of madness that we believe that this story is, my sort of question mark would be to every Arsenal fan is, why are we not in that conversation? Would be my question. If Arsenal's top priority is to get a striker next summer or in January, you spent 105 million in the summer on a defensive midfielder. Now, don't get me wrong, Declan Rice looks superb, right? No problem. He looks superb. 105 million for a DM. So why could you not spend 120 million on a striker? Because a striker is probably the game changer for this Arsenal team. You put a 20-goal-a-season striker in this team, and we're cooking with gas, people. We're seriously cooking. So if you can spend 105 on a DM, and you're serious and you want to catch Man City, why can't you spend 120 on a striker? Now, I would love to sign Ivan Toney, because it probably costs you 60, 70 mil. But Ivan Toney's got a betting scandal hanging over him. He's very outspoken. Will Arteta want to manage a player like that? That's the only issue I've ever had with Ivan Toney. The other problem we've got with Ivan Toney, Chelsea are desperate for a striker. Tottenham are probably going to want a striker to come in and replace Harry Kane. So I believe that somebody like Chelsea will go for Toney in January. I'm not sure if Arsenal will go big in January for a striker. I hope we do. But I want our fan base to begin to change this thought process that when I say Osimhen to Arsenal, we laugh about it like it's a joke. We need to change that narrative. If we need a striker, Man City are the best team in the country. They've got Haaland. And we're the second best team in the country last season, and we need a striker. We should be at the front of the queue. That's the reality of the situation. But money talks and ambition and all that. So, we should be in this conversation. And I am being serious. But signing a player from West Ham and signing one from Napoli is two totally different things. Napoli will be saying, pay the majority of that money up front or don't even bother flying over here for talks. So he would be incredible at Arsenal. I've got to be honest. If we want to catch Man City, these are the levels and these are the mindsets we've got to go to. We actually need to not laugh when we say Osimhen to Arsenal. Why should we not get Osimhen? Because we know that Real Madrid are going to sign Mbappe next summer. Barcelona got Lewandowski. Bayern Munich have got Harry Kane. PSG have got Mawani and Ramos. Really, he probably ends up in the Premier League somewhere. Now, Chelsea will throw the bag at him, but we're a better team than Chelsea. We're in the Champions League. They're struggling this season, and Tottenham need a striker, but we're better than them. So why should we not be in the conversation? If we want to catch Manchester City, this kind of move needs to not be laughed at and not be a joke. Go and spend £120 million on him and get him to the club. We don't actually need that much in the next transfer window. We just need top quality players. So listen, probably won't happen, but we should be in that conversation. So anyway, I'll leave it there. That's enough of my waffling. From my waffling, I mean, I'm with you, Harlex. He might end up at Chelsea because Chelsea will throw the bag. Let's finish with the ultimate waffle merchant of them all. Mikel Arteta, Co-Man music. The boss, Mickey Ross. Rose, that's my nickname. He was back at his old stomping ground, Everton. Many good memories, he said, of playing there for David Moyes. That'll be his last game managing there in the league as Arsenal manager, because obviously Everton are going to have a new ground. On winning our first game at Everton since 2017, he said, really happy with the performance, the way we played. 6 years we were unable to do it. That was the challenge and the opportunity. We looked at everything. Let's skip it. It's Monday. You got better things to do with your time. On the fine margins that won us the game, work on everything. Every manager has to. When you prepare for the game, you have to try to expose the weaknesses of the opponent and hide yours. That's the only outcome we try. Then the result came. We found openings in many ways. Let's skip it. Let's get through it. The game should have probably been very different if Martinelli's goal was allowed. It wasn't, and that's it. But honestly, I have no idea about the rules of football anymore. I saw an explanation that because Beto didn't mean to play the ball there, that means Martinelli, that means Eddie Nketiah was offside because it was unintentional. I have no idea of the rules of football. On Martinelli's injury, he said he felt it after the action for the run on goal. Normally, he's not one of those players to have muscular injuries, but he had to come off. Massive downside of the game was that injury to Martinelli. On the short corner tactics, he said we prepare for every situation. Yep, let's skip that one. I told you, Mickey Ross. It's like a bad mixtape. You know, after about 30 seconds, a minute, this song ain't really for me. You just skip it. You know, we're skipping people. On it being the third game in a row that one of our substitutes has scored, he said, no one is guaranteed a spot. I don't guarantee it. Saka! Saka's definitely guaranteed it. You are here to perform at the highest level and to contribute with our best capacity to win games. That's what we have to do. It's not different for anybody. We set ourselves those standards. Whatever happens extremely, it's never going to be bigger. On us managing to control the crowd. I know this crowd really well and you could feel it. Let's skip that. I'm not interested in Everton fan hype. On why he opted to start David Raya in goal in this game. He said the same rationale that Fabio played here or that Eddie played ahead of Gabriel Jesus. I haven't had a single question on why Gabriel Jesus hasn't started. He has won more trophies, including me in that dressing room, but they don't ask why. It is something that historically is done like this, but I cannot have two players in this position and not play them. David has tremendous qualities like Aaron has and Carl has. Can't forget Carl Heinz baked beans, people. But we have to use them, and it's like this. That's an interesting answer, a bit more than the waffle. I'm a really young manager. I've only had 3.5 years in the job. I have had a few regrets. It was on 2 occasions that after 60 minutes and 85 minutes in 2 games in this period, I could have changed the keeper in that moment and I didn't do it. I didn't have the courage to do it. But I'm able to take a winger or a striker and put a central defender at the back to make a 5 and hold that result. We drew those games and I was so unhappy. I mean, listen, he's trying to get ahead of the game here. Right? We get it. We get it, Mikel. We get it. He wants to show people that he's ahead of Pep. I understand. You work with Pep. Pep's always, changing the game. You're thinking, right, how can I prove that I can get ahead of Pep Guardiola? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag off my goalkeeper. This is subliminal disses, by the way. Track 5. What should we call it? Track 5. Aaron, I should have changed you. Ramsdale dish track. So basically he's saying after 60 minutes in a game, he should have dragged Aaron Ramsdale. And after 85 minutes, he should have dragged him. And we drew them games. So basically, Aaron Ramsdale, you bottled them games for us. He's dissing the goalkeeper that he signed. I told you, David Raya, as soon as he gave his granddad that shirt, it was over, mate. I'm telling you. They're having reunions at Arteta's house on Sunday afternoons, mate. I'm telling you. You saw it. Anyone who saw that introduction video of David Raya, once his granddad got that shirt, it was over. It was all too cozy. I'm telling you, Arteta might be he might be David Raya's uncle. I'm telling you, we need to look into that at some stage. Can we find out if they're related, please? I always like doing that shout in the background as if someone's there, but no one's actually there. Anyway, let me move on. I'm waffling now. Someone is going to do it, and it'll be strange, and you'll ask why, but tell me why not. See, he's going to claim the credit now if he doesn't do it. He's going to say, see, I told you that. Drag off the keeper. If you have all the qualities in another keeper to do something, you want to change the momentum, do it. It's a regret that I have, and now my feeling is to get everybody engaged in the team. This is my message. He's sending out the message, people. The message. Aaron Ramsdale diss track. Track 5. Arteta, I should have dragged you. Track 5, Inverted Keeper, Dragged, featuring David Raya. Ramsdale diss. Out now on all formats, people. Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, and all good retail stores. CD, Blu-ray. Does Blu-ray even exist anymore? Tape, cassette. It's live in stores now, people. I'll be the DJ. Woo, kid. If you know, you know. If not, you're thinking, what the hell is he on about? Anyway, hip-hop fans, you're with me right there anyway. Anyway, let's move on. On Raya's sweeper keeper qualities, we adapt to the qualities that our players have. Tried to make them play to his strength. Yeah, skip that bit. That's another boring one. On how he wants Aaron to react to being dropped, the same as Jesus, same as Tomiyasu, it's the same. We play with 11 players. We don't play with 10 plus 1 or 10 or 9. It's exactly the same. I mean, I haven't been in school for a while. I can't lie. I mean, we play with 11 players. We don't play with 10 plus 1. I mean, I think I got a C in maths, GCSE. It was a long time ago. But I'm pretty sure 10 plus 1 is 11 as well. I mean, he said we don't play with 10 plus 1 or 10 or 9. It's exactly the same. I mean, 10, we don't. Let's end it. Let's end it, people. It's wild. It's wild. It's waffle. I've ran out of syrup. There's too much waffle there, people. Next up, start trouble inside the Waffle House. It's crazy, people. It's absolute madness. It is like the Eric Cantona press conference where he's talking about, is it a penguin or a bird or something? Yeah, but I think he's so clever, we just don't understand. 43 formations and, 43 ways to add up 11, but apparently 10 plus 1 ain't one of them. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed this inverted stream with Mikel Arteta's waffle. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be previewing. We'll be looking ahead. It is Champions League week and we are involved. Thank you. We've finally been let in the rave, people. When you turn up and they go, you got ID? You go, damn, I ain't got my ID. Let me go home. You come back. Nah, mate, you can't get in with trainers. Oh, no, go home and get the shoes. Nah, mate, you can't come in with that badge on your shirt. No, let me get a shirt on. They finally let us in the rave. 6 years we ain't even touched no Champions League. Wednesday night, these are the Wednesday's going to be epic. I am going to soak up that song and just breathe it in, people. Champions League Wednesdays at Arsenal against PSV. It's going to be epic. Preview tomorrow. We'll have a little look at PSV. I honestly don't know that much about their team anymore because I know Xavi Simons and Gakpo has gone. We'll see how they've started the season, how they set up, who's going to be available for us. Press conferences tomorrow. So we got more waffle on the way. Let me go through these super chats. I've left a few. Let me get them in before we get out of here. Striker position is the only position needed in the next window, says Jorge. Big up to you. It needs to be addressed. Ford Escort music, said Eros. I mean, that was like a clapped out old Ford Escort, what he was talking there for sure. FTL Guna Craig, hope you're well, bro. Big C, what a result, was the best birthday gift I could have asked for. Shout out from your boy Shoulder. Hey, big up Shoulders, man. Hope you're well, bro. Met him on tour in LA. Big up yourself, brother. Hope you're well. Man's shoulders are huge. He looks like he's been, doing all sorts in the gym. Big up to you, bro. Hope you had a good birthday as well. Edu is trying to get kidnapped. Listen, we said, if he actually tries to negotiate for Osimhen, just do it online or something, because you ain't coming back from Naples with the way you make offers, bro. Just, you know what I mean? Jorge said he also wants to diffuse the possible goalkeeper drama. Who is going to start on Wednesday and who is going to start the North London derby? Young Gunner, City or Liverpool would have demolished that Everton side 5-0. Decent performance, but we aren't clinical enough in the final third. Arteta must learn. Listen, I said at the start of the show, if we're going to keep on Man City's tail, we've got to start scoring more goals. S. Ronnie, bring back the Dark Arts Champions League, baby. I'm with it. I can't wait for the Champions League on Wednesday. And Curtis, rubber genie lamp, that ain't happening. Well, I think you're talking about Victor Osimhen, but we can dream, people. We can dream. That's why I rubbed Robbie's head during the interview. You know, the bald head. I thought it was the genie lamp. So, it is what it is. Maybe can bring an Osimhen to us. Listen, people, thank you very much for tuning in. Enjoy your Monday. You've been brilliant in the comments as always. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for all the comments. Like the video and subscribe on your way out. 2 p.m. tomorrow we'll be back. Champions League preview. Oh, thank you. No more Europa League. No more. We'll remix that and go into Champions. These are the champs. This show is sponsored by Heineken, official Champions League sponsor. These are the champs. We will be there. We will be there no matter what, people. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, people. See you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Champions League preview. We are back. Bless, people.